Hi, everybody. This is the voice of Kaylee Hill, and I have been invited to talk about the Red Dress Project, which is an art installation that addresses the issue of the murdered and missing Indigenous women and girls in Canada and the United States. I have been I've had a bit of experience with this project. I went to U of C, and there were often red dresses hanging in trees like this, and they caught my attention, and I did a bit of a research project on them, and I have done a bit more research for this presentation as well. But before we get into the majority of the presentation, I just wanted to do a land acknowledgement, which for years has been a traditional custom of Indigenous people when welcoming outsiders onto their land and into their homes. So we, in turn, are saying thank you to Indigenous people by doing a land acknowledgement, and thank you for letting us live and enjoy the land that is yours. And as well, by doing a land acknowledgement, it also helps to build respectful relationships, and acknowledging the land is an important part of reconciliation. The land is a really important component of Indigenous beliefs, and so by acknowledging it, it is helping to start some reconciliation. As well, it also honors the authentic history of North America and its original people, and tells the story of the creation of this country that has historically been missing. So this idea of reconciliation is really important, and it really is key in talking about the Red Dress Project as well. But before we go into that, I have a little video here just doing the land acknowledgement.
We honor our ancestors by acknowledging Treaty 7 territory. We acknowledge the Treaty 7 nations, the Piikani First Nation, the Siksika First Nation, the Kainai First Nation, the Stoney Nakoda First Nations, and the Tsuut'ina First Nation. We acknowledge the ancestral territory of the Siksikaitsitapi, the Blackfoot Confederacy, and the home of Métis Region number 3.
Perfect. So this is bringing about this idea of land acknowledgement and the recognition of land and reconciliation. So these are all ideas that are really important with the Red Dress Project. Oops. All right, so the Red Dress Project, it is a really clever play on words, actually, and it's with the word redress, which actually means to remedy or set right an unjust or unfair situation. So in this case, the thing that we are redressing or trying to set right is the unfair treatment and the fact that for years and at astonishing rates, Indigenous women in Canada and the United States have gone missing or have been murdered. The Red Dress Project seeks to set right the epidemic of violence that has been experienced by Indigenous women. The term epidemic here is really important and really significant because it just demonstrates how important and how tragic and how critical it is to talk about this issue because it is so terrible and widespread in Canada. Just for example, between the years 1980 and 2012, Indigenous women and girls represented 16% of all female homicides in Canada, while constituting only 4% of the female population in Canada. As well, from 2001 to 2015, the homicide rate for Indigenous women in Canada was almost 6 times as high as the same rate for non-Indigenous women. These statistics are pretty staggering and really astonishing, but just even further underline how important projects like the Red Dress Project are really important, and also just how vital it is to talk about this issue and try to prevent things like this from happening in the future. But as well, there also is a renewed effort to account for the disappearances and prevent future tragedies, which really is where the Red Dress Project comes in. The Red Dress Project is an art installation that addresses the critical national issue of missing or murdered Indigenous women throughout Canada and the United States. And it is quite haunting, actually, when you see these dresses hanging up abandoned in trees, but it really makes you think and grabs your attention, which is the whole purpose of this project. The red dresses are hung in public spaces for everybody to see as a reminder of how many Indigenous women are no longer with us as a result of violence. This is really important, as instead of ignoring this, and this project actually brings the dresses into everybody's mind and really makes them think and makes them feel uneasy and causes discussions to occur, which is the focus and what the artist has said, like what she really wants to achieve. So here's some pictures of some red dresses around the world that have to do with this project. Just a few examples. So this was created by Canadian artist Jamie Black, who is an artist of Anishinaabe and Finnish descent from Winnipeg. She has collected hundreds of donated dresses since starting the project in 2011. And the choice of the color red is really significant, as Black explains that a friend told her that the color red was the only color spirits could see. In that sense, the color, she said, is a calling back of the spirits of these women. This is really important and really significant, as it's bringing Indigenous ways of knowing and Indigenous beliefs and pairing it with her art, which makes the art installation even more meaningful and significant, I believe. And as well, instead of ignoring these women, it's making them relevant again and making it clear that they are not gone, even though they're physically absent. They're still just as important as they ever were. Just because these women are gone does not mean we forget about them, but rather the REDress project remembers these women and informs others about them, as well as the nationwide issue. Remember, redress means to set right an injustice. So by taking part in the REDress project, we spread awareness and try to right these wrongs by spreading awareness about murdered and missing Indigenous women and actively involving ourselves in reconciliation. This idea of actively being involved in reconciliation is very important, because often we can become complacent and be comfortable with where we're at and not really actively go out and purposely do something to help achieve reconciliation. So this is where the REDress project comes in. So this video is the artist explaining the REDress project a little further, and I thought it was very interesting to hear what she had to say. So let's hear that.
The REDress project is an installation art project to bring attention to missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls. I've collected hundreds of red dresses, and we display them empty in public spaces. So people are confronted with the violence, both the violence that women are experiencing, but also the presence and power of Indigenous women. You know, people will come at the installation from different perspectives and different levels of knowledge. And some people have directly experienced losing a loved one. Others come to the exhibition and the work without any prior knowledge of what's going on and what kind of violence is being faced or women are being faced by. So it just really offers an opportunity for all groups of people to come together to start having a dialogue and a conversation, and also for women and families and communities to have a space for their voices to be heard and their stories to be told. I really want to just create a space for people to come together around what Indigenous women and girls are facing across the country and even worldwide. We're calling in the spirits of the women that are lost, and like their energy and their power is here with us right now, and it's here with me in doing this work and speaking out about the violence. And they're watching, and and we're doing the work we're supposed to be doing. My name is Jamie Black, and I'm a Métis visual artist. And I got into this work because it was really important to me to use my gifts as an artist to really engage and create a platform for voices that are often silenced.
There you go. So this video, I think, was really poignant, how she said that, the women are still here and their power and energy is still around us. And we're doing what we need to do to make this issue go away. And we're trying to, with the REDress project, really address this issue and try to do what's right by these women and for the future women as well. So it is part of our responsibility as Canadians to engage in reconciliation with our Indigenous people. And by involving ourselves in the REDress project, it really is, like the artist said, a way to make conversations happen and to raise awareness and to speak out against violence against Indigenous women. So the REDress project is an amazing thing to join in, and I am so thankful and so amazed that Altador Baptist Church wants to do this. And I think that that is just so wonderful, and I wish more churches would do this as well. Churches are definitely a keystone of many communities, so it is great to be a leader and talk about these really important issues and try to make a difference in our community. I look forward to seeing our REDress hanging outside of our church. And I really thank you for letting me talk about this. It has been a real honor, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to spread more awareness about this. Thank you so much.